looking for something. A new way, a new understanding, a connection, some comfort. You've got questions, and Light on Living puts the spotlight on all the answers so you can shine. Lift and lighten the load of life's challenges and learn simple and easy ways to live a healthy, happy life. You'll gain insight and start to see things in a new way that motivates you. You're invited to hear new, see different, and feel more as Lisa shines the light on living.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Light on Living. I'm your host, Lisa Berry, and it was such a every day is different. I wake up and go, oh, okay, here we go. What's going on today? And today, as I'm listening to the intro to the show, to the Light on Living show, the word comfort really jumped out at me today because I shared with everybody here and there that I am literally in the middle of a move, like I moved. And so, of course, the event room moved, and there's so much transformation, so much change that goes on with these things. And quite honestly, that slogan that I came up with there about giving you reasons to feel better, that has never come at a better time for, I'm going to say myself, that I'm really taking it in, because a lot of times I think, oh my gosh, I just don't know if I can go on. I just need to feel better. There's, it's always a stressful time to move. And my guest today, I am so excited to ask him that very question, which is, how can we feel, but how can we keep going on when things seem so hard or challenging or difficult or just not going your way? Because every one of you listening right now, you're each going through a different growth experience, a different challenge, these can be exciting things, but they come with these really difficult things. And sometimes it's a matter of, I've always thought that statement, you got to step out of your comfort zone. I mean, I really rebel against that one. I'm thinking, no, I want to be comfortable. So as I think I truly do have the perfect guest to share the very first ever show in the new event room. And I'm going to bring him on, and I'm going to share with you who he is. He's a spectacular, I'm using that word, he's a spectacular human being for doing something in the way that he did it. So I want to share with you that his name is Tony Bussey. Now, does that sound familiar to everybody? Anybody hear that name? Because he's made news headlines, and I think he's touched a lot of people in their lives and really inspired them, because he went to lose over 300 pounds. And I wrote in my title, he lost over 300 pounds to be the bigger man. And I'll tell you why that's so important and imperative. He didn't just lose this weight to look better, yes, to feel better, but there was so much more underlying this. And so, Tony has written a book about it, actually, From Thick to Thin. But more than that, first of all, I am excited. I always can't handle the introductions because I want to bring on my guests so fast. But I want to welcome you, Tony. Hello, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm honored to be on your show. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a big thank you for me, because everybody listening here, I just want to share. I read his story and I was like, oh my gosh, I just even want to interview him just to get an article to share with everybody. And then after Tony and I spoke, he is just the sweetest man, first of all.
Well, thank you.
You really are great insights. But then I thought, no, you're absolutely, we need to get you on the show, because
yes.
Your words, Tony, what was the exact number of pounds that you were able to shed and let go of?
334 pounds.
300.
I go up and down like 2-3 pounds all the time, depending on night shifts, things like that. But 334 pounds is what I lost.
It's just incredible. So I need to almost sit there for a second, because everybody can really bring it. I don't even know. I wish I had something that's equivalent to everything, but you'll have to go. Everybody, if you want to see the pictures, we've got some pictures. You've had some great before and after pictures, and you have some pictures of the clothes that you were wearing before.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. Did you know all that show?
If people want to, the way I try to explain to people the amount of weight it is basically the same weight of approximately 7 of those big water jugs.
Oh, okay. So those big heavy ones.
Yeah, the ones that go on top of a water cooler. If you were to put that on your back,
oh my gosh,
that's what it would feel like.
And, you know, and imagine, like, and just everybody can really imagine that, yeah, lugging that around on your back and all your joints and everything, and you, how, like, this is so neat because we're going to walk through the experience, but not too much, because I really want to get to the part where I want to really inspire people and help them, so wherever they are in their life, in their body, in their life.
Yeah.
But for you going through that time, there was a pivotal moment, but we're going to talk about that. But just walk us up to, here you are, you're living life just like anybody else. We're all given the same life. And were you obese or gaining weight as a child and then into your teens?
When I was a child, I was kind of chubby, but not really. I mean, I had my moments. I look back in some pictures and I was a bit of a bigger kid, but when I graduated from high school, I was not overly big. You know, if you were to see me, you would just think I was just another normal, you know, I might have been 30 or 40 pounds overweight. I found when I put on a lot of weight when I first moved to Alberta. And when I came up here, I was around 330, 340 pounds. But I was still very active. I could still do things. I mean, my first job when I came here, I was a water delivery guy.
There's the water connection.
Yeah. So I would do that, but I was still able to do that. But over the years, I gradually got bigger. I mean, I remember I drove back to Newfoundland for a trip, and when I came back, none of my clothes would fit. So I was just, and everybody was kind of commenting, "Oh, Tony, you put on a bit of weight." I didn't really pay any attention to it. But then over the years, it just gradually, 20, 30 pounds a year, it seemed like, to where I topped out my heaviest weight. I was 567 pounds.
567. So I'm glad you're here to get the numbers straight. Yes, because there's the numbers all over the place. 506. And I want to.
And I'm not a tall guy. I'm between 5'8" and 5'9".
Right. So to carry that, it's like even more so if somebody's sitting there at 6 foot. Yeah. But when somebody, like you said, you drove back home and people who do know you, and they were able to recognize and see that before the clothes. When somebody mentions that to you, are you taking it from a place of, like, they care about me, they're concerned, or they're judging? Like, how did that feel when somebody were to say that to you?
Oh, I would always take it as concern. People were very concerned about my health, and so was I. I mean, I would wake up every morning very aware of the bad situation I was in. As soon as you would open your eyes in the morning, I mean, I knew the prison that I had made for myself. Because everything ached, and then you would look in the mirror and you would see this person. You're like, how did I get this big? Yeah. And it was depressing. I mean, it was just overwhelming. As soon as you would get up in the morning, you realize. But people would talk to me, and I could see it that in their eyes when they would talk to me, that it was out of love and out of concern. And I mean, my daughter would call me and be crying, or her mother would be, afraid of my life. I would have a friend of mine that if he didn't hear from me for 3 or 4 days, he would come and check on me because he thought I could be dead.
A heart attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
And still get this connection. And I raised that point because a lot of us, we might have friends that we can see this and we don't know, should I say something, should I not? How do I say it and how will they take it? So I was kind of that's good because sometimes we do need that almost permission to share that we love someone and show that concern. But here it is. It's interesting. You've had these people that were showing this concern. Were you concerned about your health?
Oh, hugely. I to this day, I mean, I look back on all that now. I really did not believe I would be alive right now if I didn't change things. I mean, I was getting fluid coming out of my eyes. My skin was turning a different color. I was getting dark spots up around my forehead. I was getting tingling in my legs, things like that. And I was starting to get chest pains. It was becoming harder and harder to move, to walk. I was becoming more depressed. Things like that. There was times. I mean, I love life, but there were times if I went to bed and I didn't wake up in the morning, it wouldn't have bothered me. Yeah. Because life was becoming that unbearable.
And I find it so, like you mentioned the word prison, and I think that's, you're describing it, and yet when we're in that situation, we're putting ourselves in that situation. And
oh, yes.
And well, how did you get there? Like, is it that you said you love life? So did you love yourself, or
no?
How does it happen?
No, you become you trapped in a cycle. I mean, I lived alone. I had a lot of loneliness. And I guess I didn't do drugs. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything like that. So food became my addiction. Food became my best friend. Food became my lover, you could say. Food became everything. You know, when I wanted to feel a bit of happiness, I turned to food. When I wanted to escape, I turned to food. But the thing about that is the very thing that's giving you temporary happiness is the thing that's actually taken away your life.
Yeah.
You know, it's destroying you one little bit at a time. And you don't see it at the time because all you think about is that escape from your reality. Sitting down with that big box of chicken wings, sitting down with that bag of chips, that ice cream. For that few minutes that you're eating that, you're escaping reality and you're feeling something that you're longing for. You're longing for happiness and you're having it just for those few minutes. But then once you're done, you slip back into that horrible life that you escaped for a couple minutes and now you've just made it worse.
Yeah. And, you know, it's interesting you say that about emotions and a feeling like you go from loneliness, so then you eat and you feel better, but then you're worse. But then there was this one emotion that you felt, which was the strongest of them all. And if you could share that experience of the evacuation and how that changed your life.
Oh, that, I look back on that now and I almost choke up because when they evacuated us, from the fire, there was a person there and he took me from the back of the line to the front of this long lineup of people waiting to get on the bus. And I understood why he did it because, I mean, here's a man that's almost 600 pounds. It's 34, 35 degrees hot outside in May. Up here it was unusually hot. So you don't want a guy that size passing out. Heat in the middle of this evacuation. So what would you do? You know, I don't fit on an ambulance. I don't fit in a stretcher. I don't fit anywhere. So they put me on the bus. And when I get on the bus, this bus is packed, except there's an empty seat next to me. But I'm filling over into that seat so much that they can't put anybody there. So I look out the window and I see this long line of people. And they're all waiting to be evacuated like I am. Somebody's wife, somebody's husband, daughter, son. They're just waiting to get out of there. But here I am. I kind of butted in front of everybody so they could get me on the bus. So my size prevented one of these people from leaving. And that had such an effect on me. That had a huge effect on me. And then while we were waiting to get on a plane, we were sitting on a bus for 2-3 hours, and I had so much time to think about this. Like everything came to a head about my life, and now I'm affecting other people. And then I get on the plane, and these planes are flying in, they're picking up people, and as soon as they fill up, they're taking off, and these planes are packed. But now on the plane, there's a seat next to me, and it's empty. They can't sit nobody next to me right there because I'm filling over into that seat too much.
So again, this happens to you.
So the whole plane ride to Edmonton, I'm thinking about this. And I'm like, Tony, you can't keep going on like this. Now you're affecting other people. So I landed in Edmonton that evening, and that was it. I started right then and there. I started changing my diet. I started walking. And I haven't looked back since. And now I have a life that it's unbelievable.
You know, that story is so touching. And at the beginning, I said you're just truly the sweetest man. And this is why, because it was actually your open heart that about others. You actually you were so selfless. It's so interesting to say that. It was more important that you make yourself healthy so that you weren't inconveniencing others. And I think that is such almost like a backwards but tremendous and wonderful way of looking at it. And that's actually one of the reasons why I want to explore that with you, because
yes,
you said those two statements. I love life and I'm inconveniencing others. Okay, now I'll do something. So we've still got a minute before commercial, but as we start this, if anybody else is out there, this is a big moment for everybody. You may be sitting there, whatever trouble it is that you're in, and think you can't get out of it and you don't have the value. But what about for somebody else?
Oh, you're worth it. Because, I mean, if I can't stress it enough, we get one chance at this. Yeah. Life goes by like a warm summer breeze. It's over before you know it. But it's so beautiful while we're in this life that you're worth every bit of struggle, every bit of thing that you can do to enjoy it. You're worth it. I mean, if somebody were to say to you or me today, one of our loved ones, say, Tony, Lisa, I need you to walk 5 kilometers across the city to bring me something. You would do it in a heartbeat. Why can't we do it for ourselves?
You know what? And that's actually the question I want to leave with, because I know we're going to sneak away to commercials, but when we come back, it's like that is the question that Tony's going to help us with. Why can't we do it for ourselves, and how can we when we return?
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. Om Times Radio, IOM FM. Om Times Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Om Times, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Have you bought into the idea that you have to work hard for your money, that business is hard? I will share some dynamic access consciousness tools to get you out of your own way so you can create a business that actually succeeds. Join me, Simone Millicers, on The Joy of Business at 4 p.m. Mondays Eastern.
Imagine tapping into a power where you could access the ability to transform your views of money, success, happiness, and fulfillment. A power that you could unlock hidden talents, uncover new meaning, and amplify the significance of your purpose. Well, the feminine heart is the source of that power, intelligence, insight, and understanding. Join this new wave of women's leadership that's emerging. Be the woman who knows her greatest power to create goes well beyond the day-to-day striving for results. Be the woman who knows her true power to contribute to the world in significant ways is one that expresses her heart, enlivens her creativity, and elevates her spirit. Rise, amazing woman, rise. An Amazing Woman Legacy book compiled by Marsh Engel, sharing the 8 essential powers of the feminine from 8 influential mentors, entrepreneurs, and change makers that will help you tap into that power. Rise, amazing woman, rise. Your legacy begins by leading with a feminine heart.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
Well, welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Light on Living. I'm your host, Lisa Berry. We have Tony Bussey here with us, and he was truly inspired to transform his life, all because of a wildfire that was spread in Alberta at Fort McMurray and had a pivotal moment. But he's written a book about it. It's called Through Thick and Thin, and it really is about his wake-up call, his entire what started and sparked, I like to say that sparked the wildfire, sparked his transformation. Now, I love focusing on, this is a crazy transformation. In 2 years, and everybody, this happened in 2016. So in 2 years, he did do this big transformation. We're going to talk about it, but then there's still more to come. I mean, you're still in the process of even more transformation and more transformation. But what I want to ask you is, we left off with, why do we do things? Some people don't do things for other people, but why is it usually we are inspired to do something and motivate a call to action for someone else before ourselves?
You know, I've kind of thought about that quite a bit, because I look back on myself and all those years that I was a prison in my own body. I didn't feel any more worthy than just, basically laying on a couch waiting to die, just eating myself into an early grave.
Yeah.
But I would go and do anything for anybody else that I could. But it's like you let life defeat you. It's you let life knock you down so often that you feel worthless and that you feel helpless and that you feel unworthy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like the mind is such a powerful, powerful thing, because the same mind that can convince you that you're worthless, that you're unable to change and so on, is also the same mind that can convince you that you're able to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Is which one do you want to tap into? But once you convince yourself, and once you're able to tap into the strength of your mind and say, I can do this, then there's nothing going to stop you. And then once you find yourself that, hey, I'm worthy of this, I'm worthy of the love, I'm worthy of the self-care that I can give myself, then everybody around you is benefiting from that. Because the more you love yourself, the more you can love other people.
That's a statement we always hear. But that is such a tricky one. The more we love ourselves, the more we can give love and show love.
Yes, definitely. Because you become more proud of yourself. So you become more proud of the things around you. You love yourself, so you love people more. You change your whole outlook on life. Like for myself, I've become, I love experiences. I love meeting new people. You're not in your shell anymore, because when you're almost 600 pounds, you don't want to go out anywhere. You don't want to go out and talk to anybody. You just want to stay inside, stay secluded, because every time you would go out, all you'd feel is stares from people.
Yeah.
Now you want to go out and talk to people and hear their stories and their experiences. And that's the biggest, advantage of all of this now, is getting out of my shell and meeting new people.
Yes. Now, and that's the neat thing too. You've really given yourself a whole new life, and anyone out there listening can too.
Yeah. Oh, big time. I mean, I was 41 when I started this. I was almost 600 pounds when I started this. If people say, well, I'm too old, you're not too old. If I'm too big, you're not too big. But it's not only weight. This could be alcohol addiction. It could be drugs. It could be anything that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But you can change it. I mean, it took me 2 years to lose the weight. And that's 2 years in the grand scheme of things is nothing.
Right. And did you ever want to give up? Did you ever think, I can't do this?
No. Because the way I looked at it, Lisa, is that I was almost like I had to pick my pain.
Okay.
Am I going to go through temporary pain to lose the weight, like physical pain, to lose the weight, to have a beautiful, happy life after? Or am I going to stay in a permanent pain for the rest of my life, physically and emotionally, and not enjoy life at all? Either way, I'm in pain. So I picked the quickest option.
Now, you didn't have any guarantees from anybody else. This was you. You had to guarantee yourself that you were going to have a great life, that you were going to be pain-free, did you do visualization techniques or what tools did you use to get you there mentally, emotionally?
I think what I used is when I first lost the weight, when I first had 30 pounds gone, I had that gone within a month. The mental aspect was that finally, my weight is going down and not up.
Ah.
And as I kept losing the weight and the steps became easier, walking became easier, the advantages of having weight gone, like buying new clothes, fitting into my car, you go to restaurants, you can fit in a booth easier, those types of things. As I became able to enjoy just the everyday aspects of life that normal sized people could enjoy, that kept me motivated.
It's a state of gratitude, appreciation, sorry.
And then the pain of all of those years of being that size, that's so ingrained in my head, I would never forget it. I used to wake up every morning and dream of this life. Oh. And now that it's here, it's almost like you're a free man again. Like a man that could be in prison and somebody finally lets you out. Why would I ever go back to that again? Or a man or a woman in a wheelchair and you can learn to walk again. Why would I ever go back to that wheelchair again?
Right. Now, when you say that about you, bring up some huge, things that we wouldn't have thought about. You just said, when I could fit into my car again, or a booth, we've all, I know a lot of, I'm going to say, well, I'll go with women, but women who say, they don't want to sit on certain chairs, at like a baby shower or something, because,
yes.
we usually have those fold out little party chairs and they're going, that's not going to work for me. And that's embarrassing to them. But so to be able to sit on that and not feel embarrassment is huge. Now, because you were so aware and you were in a state of appreciation of those things, did you ever come up to a time where you started thinking, okay, I'm on a roll, I've got this, I can't wait to do that, but then it didn't happen and you judged yourself? What happens in those times where we want to fit into the next size down, but then we don't? Did you ever get let down or have to deal with that?
Not really. No.
Okay.
I just kept going. Life became so much easier. I can't stress that enough. That it just kept me going. Okay. It was finally starting to appreciate what I've, always dreamed of. Even now when I get up in the morning, this feels like a dream. Mm. Every day when I put on a pair of socks, that feels like a dream. I couldn't even do that before.
Right.
I would go into my car, barely fit. I talk about a restaurant. Well, if I did go to a restaurant, which was very rare, but if I did go, the first question I would ask is, do you have tables or booths? If they only had booths, I couldn't stay in that restaurant because I couldn't fit.
You couldn't get in? Yeah.
No, it just kept me, the old fire, the evacuation, everything, that got so ingrained in me. It just kept me going. And then when the weight started to come off and I could finally, after all of these years, start to lose weight and not gain, and start to feel, because I started to feel freedom again.
Yeah.
When you have freedom taken away from you for 10, 15 years, and you finally have access to it again, it's a feeling that I can't even put into words.
And this is the neat thing. I love that you said this was a life that you dreamed of. And this is why and do you agree or not agree? This is why I believe that maybe not just vision boards, but just you've got to put those details in the dream, like the feeling, so that it's ingrained. So when you say I dreamed of this life, when you wake up now and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the life I dreamed, can you see the exact same connection of feeling? Is it the same one?
Oh yeah. Oh, big time. The thing is when you finally, and like I said before, it's freedom to me.
Yeah.
I finally reached freedom in my mind, freedom in my body, physically, mentally. I finally have achieved freedom. There's nothing that can happen to me in life right now that can take that away from me.
No.
Not a thing. I've defeated the biggest handicap of my life. I've defeated the biggest prison of my life. That if, God forbid, but if I was given 6 months to live tomorrow, I would end those 6 months with a smile on my face every day, because I finally have achieved what I've always wanted in life, and that was freedom.
You got there. That freedom. So let's actually unwrap freedom. Freedom is now what is freedom? You getting to do what you want to do? What's freedom?
Freedom to me is getting up in the morning and not being trapped in that horrible body. Freedom is the ability to go out and enjoy everyday life, whether it's calling a cab, whether it's going out with friends, whether it's wearing nice clothes, just the normal everyday activities of life and just being a normal person. That's freedom to me. If I want to go and buy a plane ticket and travel somewhere, I can do it. I don't have to get 2 seats. I don't have to worry about if I'm going to fit into a car rental at the airport. It's things like that. If I want to go out and meet people, I don't have to be filled with anxiety, like, okay, are they going to look at me, stare at me? Are they going to this and that? All of those things I'm not bound by anymore.
A lot of fears have been removed, and I think that a lot of people who live life right now and they don't have freedom, they are in prisons because the fears of, like you said, fear of this happening, fear of the booth, not a table, fear of, this. If someone's living in fear right now for their own reason, like, as you said, maybe they fear they can't stop drinking. They have a fear that they can't step up their game in a career and earn, or they don't feel they deserve something. When I want to talk to you about habit, because when I think about fears, we can get into the habit of fearing something.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And I just find it fascinating because with food, I mean, we all eat. So we eat for so many different reasons. I mean, and Sue, you enjoy eating right now, right?
Oh, I love food. And, and the thing is, I love food, but the biggest myth out there is that you have to starve yourself to lose weight. You don't. I eat delicious food.
Okay, I think everybody needs to hear this. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm almost been 3 years now that I haven't touched junk food.
Right.
That stuff is garbage. I stay away from that. I stay away from pop. I stay away from processed sugar. I stay away from all of that. I don't go back there. I treat that stuff like an alcoholic would treat booze.
Right. I love that you say that. That stuff's garbage. I love that. I just love how you say that.
It's all garbage. It's in my opinion, is not even food. Like a bag of chips is not even food. That should be all just thrown right in the dump.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So right now, if somebody they have junk food in their lives, is any bit of it okay for you, or you just don't, like you said, you just made it quite the statement, like, garbage, dump it. So you don't eat that stuff anymore. That's not even a little bit.
I get angry at it. Because I walk into a convenience store, say I go in and get a newspaper or a coffee or something like that.
Okay.
I see all of that stuff, and right away I'm flooded with memories of when I was almost 600 pounds. Really making it to the convenience store to get my fix.
Right.
Other people would have to go to a drug dealer. I would just have to go to a near convenience store and get my fix.
That's what's called convenience.
Yeah. And I see it all there, and all those memories are flooded back, the memories of loneliness, the memories of being trapped, the memories of, oh, my God, am I ever going to get out of this?
Right.
The memories of not knowing if I was going to wake up the next morning, the memories of waking up throughout the night choking because so much weight was on my body that was choking off my breath.
Oh.
Things like that. So I see all of that, and I'm flooded with those memories, but then I'm also flooded with relief that that's not my life anymore.
Right.
And
that's
now
key that you said that.
Yeah.
I just want to highlight that, everybody. That's huge that you said that. It's not that you walk in and you get angry. You are remembering that and honoring that state, but then you also balance it with the relief and I'm not there. Like, you can settle yourself again.
Like my daughter, she asked me, she said, Dad, if I get married in the future, would you have a piece of wedding cake? No.
Oh.
I told her no. I'm sorry, but no. And her mother had to go over and explain to her, like, your father can't touch that stuff anymore.
You don't want it to even go into your system?
No, I've had my share of it. I don't even, like a meth addict wouldn't go downtown in East Hastings, Vancouver, for old time's sake. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it.
Yes. You know what? Those are very healthy boundaries. And I'm going to highlight that. That's a healthy boundary because you're not saying, like, you just know that it would be, why was it called play with fire? And I had to say that story. That was a funny one. Like, you don't even play with fire. But, yeah. And, I want to talk about the book when we get back. We've got commercials in about a minute, but these are things that everybody listening right now, if you're the one right there and it's specifically weight that you're dealing with and you're like, I don't know how I could ever not imagining not having a piece of cake at my, child's wedding or never having a potato chip again or something like that. I want to go into what you do eat when we come back, but then also I want to talk about your book because I know, and I can attest this, that a book can change someone's life. And your book, Tony, might be just one book that can change someone's life.
Oh, I hope so. That's my goal.
That is your goal. I know. We're going to talk about your goals. You're really powerful in attaining your goals. So when we come back, we got a jam-packed section when we come back. So everybody, stay tuned.
Thank you.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. Times Radio. FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. ascendinghearts.com.
Tune in to The Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World with me, host Robin Fritz, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll cover personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice, and more, all to help you tap your own intuitive and healing skills. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Mind connected to the heart, connected to the love, connected to the soul. I'm connected to you, connected to me, connected to us. The Connection app, the perfect way to get to know your partner, yourself, and love more deeply. Download and join today. Mind connected to the heart, connected to the love, connected to the soul. I'm connected to you, connected to me.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Oh, well, I'm so glad that everybody could join us today. You know, this is one of I think, one that's most broad around the world. Like, I can't imagine anybody really out there who hasn't thought about their weight, thought about their health. And let's put it onto the health. Could they be healthier? Could they be stronger, fitter? Maybe it's not just about weight itself. But there's also things I know when I look at my life, I think, okay, I really, in this one area, I would love to be healthier or better, but I know I have to give something up. And maybe that's not the right mindset that I want to be looking at. So I've got Tony Bussey here with me because he's helping us to find out, well, he's actually leading the example. He's quite the leader in how to achieve some great results in transforming your life. And Tony, is that the way, like, you didn't look, see, I love it. You didn't look at it like, I'm giving this up. Or did you? Wait a second, let me ask you. Did you look at it like, I have to give this up to get this? Or where was your mind? How did you do this?
I was looking at things like not really what I was giving up, but what I was tired of having. And I was tired of having that horrible feeling. I was tired of having physical pain. I was tired of having mental pain. I was tired of living this life of just pass me by day to day, basically just, slowly dying on a couch.
Yeah.
Life is so beautiful. It's meant to be out and enjoyed. It's meant to be seen. It's meant to be experienced. That's what life is about, not to eat yourself into an early grave.
Right.
So that's the way I looked at things. And I kept thinking about the beautiful life that I'm going to gain, not about the junk food that I was giving up.
Right, yeah.
We have to look at food with a different mindset because, food can be enjoyable, sure. I sit down now and I eat delicious, healthy meals. But we have to look at food as a fuel for our body to go and enjoy everything else that's beautiful in this world.
Yes, absolutely.
Like you look at a vehicle, for example. If you were told that you're only going to have one vehicle the rest of your life, you would baby that vehicle, you would give it the regular oil changes, and you would give it perfect, awesome attention. You would take care of it. You would clean that car every day. Why not do that to our bodies? This is the only body we get in this life. Why not feed it the proper fuel? Give it the proper healthy food that it needs. Mm-hmm. And then it will give us the life that we long for.
So that's actually, I love that analogy. Now, here's the question I have to ask you, because I thank goodness you actually have the spirit in you to say, I do love life, even at 500 pounds, 400 pounds. But so if somebody's given this, car, here you go, here's the keys, here's the one car, you got to drive it forever, but you don't want to see the world. You're not connected to what the enjoyment is. Can you share, like, what part of you expands and grows when you finally connect with yourself and know your worth?
I would say your mind. Ooh. Because you learn to appreciate things a lot more. You learn to see things with different eyes.
Oh, yeah.
When you're not trapped in physical pain, when you're not trapped in mental pain, when you're finally free of that, you look at things so much differently. It's almost like you're given a second chance. Because I honestly did not believe I would be alive to this day.
Yeah.
And here I am given a second chance. Here I am given this freedom again. I keep saying freedom because that's what it is to me. It's freedom. Physical freedom, mental freedom. And that's what I would say, yeah.
Okay, right now I think you just gave me, I have an aha moment. When you said about everybody's had some kind of a pain, whether it's a headache or a stomach ache or body pain, and you're right, your mind gets imprisoned because you can't get past that. Like, you're not free because you're so focused on that pain. And when you said that, I just love that you said that right now, because you're right. You see the world with different eyes. Like, imagine somebody has a headache right now, and it goes away. You suddenly go, oh, I can step into the light. I can look at the view. I can, and what a beautiful thing you just said. Now, do you with your book? If somebody were to go and pick up your book right now and they would read it, what's the purpose of your book, and why did you share your story?
I wanted to give people hope, and I got very real in the book. I wanted to show people what I went through day to day. So if there's anybody else out there reading the book and they're like, well, Tony didn't go through this. And then you read a bit further, oh, Tony did. Oh, Tony didn't experience this. And you read a bit, oh, Tony did. So Tony went through all the exact same things that I'm going through day to day, and yet he still lost the weight and he kept it off. No tricks, no gimmicks, just hard work, stubbornness, and walking. That was it. And if they can see that and read that and say, wow, there's hope for me. But also for not to feel alone, because the worst thing when you're going through, whether it's alcoholism, drug addiction, a bad marriage, financial problems, or weight, the biggest thing is people feel alone. They feel like they're the only person in the world going through that. Mm-hmm. And that makes it harder to get out of that. So if somebody can read my book and say, wow, I'm not alone in this. Here's a man that has shared the same experiences I shared, from going to a restaurant to feeling like he's being stared at and all these things. So I'm not the only person in the world going through this. And if he can defeat it, so can I. Just want to give people hope, because there's nothing worse than feeling that you're alone in whatever particular situation you're dealing with. It's a horrible feeling.
And there's that sweetness of you coming out again, that connection and that compassion that you are trying to share with the world, because you are so right. That feeling of alone. You know, it's really, this is a weird one. The funny thing to say is, during my move, right, I was going through quite a bit of weird anxiety, things like, oh, I don't want somebody to see this, or I don't want to help move because of this, and my dad would, I call my dad and go, I'm uncomfortable. He goes, honey, everybody goes through that when they move. And I thought, no, it's only me. Right?
But when you realize people do, it makes you feel better.
It does. It really does. And I thought, no, not everybody. I have to be the only one who's tired, you know? And you almost have to laugh at yourself in a nice way, in a very like, oh, wow, look at that. Yeah. And you're right. And a book, when you read other people's stories and words, it's like you're right there. And I can only imagine. I'm so looking forward to reading your book. I haven't got you yet, but I've had the pleasure of speaking with you, thank goodness. But
oh, yes.
Do you travel and do any speaking engagements?
I have a couple of things that I'm looking into right now, but I love traveling, and I would love to get into speaking and just talking to people and try and inspire people. That's actually a dream of mine. I love speaking in front of people and so on, and I would love to get into that and just telling my story. And because I mean, if through all of this, if one person can write me and say, Tony, I lost all my weight because of what you did, it'll be a success. Yeah, I'll be happy. You know.
Happy is,
because right now there's somebody else out there that's almost 600 pounds that's going through the exact same things that I did 2 years ago, and they're feeling hopeless. Yeah. You know.
You said something to me during our call, and I have to share this with everybody because, Tony's mentioning that, he's done this in 2 years, but you know what? It might be somebody, it takes them 7. It might take somebody 1.
Oh, yeah.
And you were so kind. I love that you shared. I once, my background is a holistic nutritionist, and I started off in weight loss. This is back in 1996. And back then it was all women. And you were so open-hearted, and you shared with me that you said, I know it's easier for men. It can be. It usually is. And you said, and your heart goes out to women or other people who, maybe it's a man, but has other conditions that it slows them down. What can you offer to them, just for a little bit of motivation, inspiration for somebody who it's going to take a little longer?
Well, as long as you're moving forward, whether it takes you a day, whether it takes you 5 years, if it takes you a month to lose 2 pounds, at least you're losing 2 pounds and you're not gaining.
Yeah.
You know, it's better to move slowly than not move at all.
Yes.
Right?
That keep on,
if you don't move at all, you're definitely not going to get to your destination. Moving slowly, I mean, it's just keep at it, because the rewards at the end of it far, far, far outweigh the struggles that you're going through now.
Yeah. Did you track, like, did you journal or track your weight or measurements, and do you agree with all that?
Whatever works for people. I didn't track anything. The only thing I used was my belt.
Right.
If I would come home, and I never even owned a scale up to a couple months ago, because scales didn't fit me. I would use a warehouse scale. Right. But I would just have my belt, and I would punch holes in my belt, and that's when I knew I was losing weight. And that's it. I never counted a calorie, never tracked anything. I wouldn't have a clue how to do it even to this day.
Oh, that's amazing. And, you know, I love that, because you were looking, that's exactly why, because you were looking more for the rewards in life, in experience, versus the rewards of a calculator of sort, you know.
Oh, yeah, because the scale is only one aspect of it. Because, like, for example, I work night shifts. If you work a bunch of night shifts, never weigh yourself after a night shift, because your metabolism gets screwed up. So you could get discouraged that way. You know, you might just never weigh yourself in the evening because you've got food in your belly from eating all day. That doesn't mean you've put on weight. That just means your food is in your belly. Food-based things. That's all it is. But people get discouraged as soon as they see that scale going up a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds. Don't. Just keep healthy living. But my big thing is, I don't go back to junk food or anything, because why would I go back to the very thing that got me in bad shape to begin with? Yeah. Stay away from it. Once you've kicked that habit, just stay away from it.
Are you healthy now?
Oh yeah. I'm mentally everything. I can take on the world now. It's oh yeah. It's great now.
Breathing, you sleep well. You breathe well. You sleep well. You move well.
Everything. I have no aches or pains. I have no side effects. I have nothing.
And no medications?
I walk, no medications, nothing. I get up in the morning. I'll get up around 4:30 in the morning, and I'll walk between 3.5 to 5 kilometers.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's just
every day.
Every day. And
I do the exact same thing now that I did when I first started. I eat the same way, and I do the same exercise. I still haven't joined the gym. I got to get a bunch of skin taken off. So once I do that, then I plan on joining the gym and just getting like toned up and so on. But I just do the same thing now, and I'll do it till the day I die.
That's one thing I loved about your story too, because everybody can do that. There's nothing, there's no limits to hold back. You're just eating regular food. You eat meat, you eat potato. No, wait.
Yeah.
Do you
no, I don't eat potatoes. I'll eat sweet potato. I don't eat pasta. I don't eat rice, but I eat a lot of fruits. I eat a lot of veggies. I eat meats. I eat eggs. I'll even have bacon once every couple of weeks.
Okay.
I eat nuts. I eat bananas, apples. I'll have a salad. Like I'll get up in the morning, for example, and I'll usually have like a 3-egg cheese and mushroom omelet.
Yum!
And it's delicious. Then a piece of fruit. You know, I might go out. Then if I'm on a day off, I'll go through the day. I'm gonna have a bowl of chili for lunch. And supper time, it could be a steak with a salad.
Yeah, so you're not missing out.
I don't eat late at night. No, not at all. Seafood, I mean, salmon, love salmon, things like that. But I don't eat late at night, and I don't, like I said, I don't touch any junk food.
You know what? I want to share with everybody right now. This is Tony Bussey, Bussey. He has a book out. I want everybody to get it. It's From Thick to Thin. And also, I would love for them to reach out and connect with you, because you know what? This is how easy, and I'm saying this, easy. This is the easy steps. You're going to eat well, you're not going to eat garbage, and you're not going to eat late at night, and you're going to keep the body moving. And then you're going to reach out to Tony.
I got an Instagram account, Tony Bussey 123. They can see a bunch of before and after pictures and things like that on there. The book is called Through Thick and Thin: How the Wildfire Was a Wake-Up Call to Transform My Life. They can find that on Amazon. It's a beautiful ride.
Oh.
I wake up in the morning, Lisa, and I almost choke up because I can't believe that this is finally happening. I mean, if you would have told me 3 years ago that I would have been talking to you today about weight loss and about a book out about weight loss, I never would have believed you. But here it is, it's 3 years. I mean, I've had the weight off now for a year. I've been maintaining for the past year. But 3 years ago, I was almost 600 pounds. Here I am now. That's gone. That's defeated, and I'm living a beautiful life.
And on that note, they're going to cut us off, but I want to say, everybody, just hear that. 3 years ago, almost 600 pounds. Today, happily, healthy, moving forward, everyday stuff. So Tony Bussey, and reach out to him, please, everyone. If you are trying to achieve any dream in life, I think he would be helpful. Thank you so much, Tony. It's just been such a pleasure.
I love every minute of it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you next week on Light on Living.